Mabuhay. Welcome to my home, because really my restaurant is an extension of my home. I think I live here more than my actual house.
Guys, I came here first back in 2019, pre-pandemic, not to cover any stories, but to eat. And since then, I've made a mental note to feature Patrice. The food is amazing. The place is great. And especially now, I see the extension of the patio outside and then the store upstairs. Okay, so before we talk about all those, tell us the background of Purple Patch.
So we opened up in 2015. I received a phone call from the landlord of the building in 2014 saying that the owners prior to me didn't want to renew their lease. So they asked me if I wanted to open up a restaurant. I was very apprehensive. I had never opened up a restaurant before, but I decided to take a leap of faith, and March 17th, which is St. Patrick's Day of 2015, we opened up Purple Patch. I'm Filipino and Irish, so it was very ironic that I opened a Filipino restaurant on St. Patrick's Day.
I want to talk about what you were doing before you got that call.
So before I got that call, I was actually a stay-at-home mom. My son at that time was 5 years old, and my then husband worked in the NBA, so I was really just a wife, a mother, and just a supporter.
At that point, when you didn't know a lot about entrepreneurship, maybe none at all, what pushed you to do this?
You don't have time to think about like what made you do it. I think you just kind of look within yourself and take a leap of faith.
Right.
For me, there was familiarity in the space. I had been a part of this space, and I helped the two previous owners open up a restaurant here from 2003 to 2011. So there was a lot of history in this space.
Right.
I felt very comfortable, and I really just looked at it and said that if I'm going to open up a restaurant anywhere, this would definitely be a place that I would open up.
And why Purple Patch?
You know, a lot of Filipinos come here and they assume that it means like it has something to do with ube, of course, because it's purple,
right?
Or halo halo. But it actually is an English term for a place of success or good luck. My ex-husband is Australian,
Right.
and he used to say you should have your own little purple patch, and that's what I have here.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
You see, learn something new
Yes.
every day. And it's fortuitous because it has been a source of good luck for you.
Yes.
Right.
It's almost March 17th will be 8 years for us.
Some people who are watching may be wanting to start a lot of people are starting their from side hustles, graduating it into their full-time businesses or ventures. Some are maybe thinking about it. What will be the top 3 advice for them?
First is when opening up a business, you can't pretend to know everything. There isn't a restaurant 101 book that you can grab off the shelf and it tells you if this happens and to do this, because I think everything is happening as it goes. For instance, when we opened, a water pipe burst in the middle of dining service. Long story short, you're left with this restaurant that's filled with water, and you're 2-3 months into it.
Right.
You really have to like have the intestinal fortitude to know like things happen, and you've got to find your way back. You're not always going to have these answers, but what helps, and I recommend anyone starting a business, is to have mentors.
Right.
People that you trust,
Right.
people that you respect, people that you're not trying to be friends with, but people that can give you sound advice. Choose the direction that you're going into, and I call it staying in your lane and not wavering back and forth. Because when you waver back and forth, then people start to question your true like authenticity of what you're doing.
And if you weren't authentic, you wouldn't be here 8 years later still doing this. So I wanted to ask about that third point, direction and staying in your lane. What was your and is your direction for Purple Patch?
My direction for Purple Patch really was to just represent Filipino food in my own way. Highlight the food that I grew up on and then elevate it,
Right.
but stay true to who I am at the same time. I will change directions and maneuver back and forth when I feel comfortable,
Right.
and not when somebody else thinks I should do it. I've been asked several times to open up more restaurants, do other ventures, and it's just not something that I'm comfortable with right now
Mhm.
because I'm the only owner here, and I'm the executive chef.
And you're hands-on.
Yeah, I'm
Yes,
hands-on. I'm here all
hands-on.
the time, and so for me, it's really important to have complete control over what I do. So I always have this saying where I say, don't exceed your limitations to achieve your expectations. And for me, that's so important.